the tailgate show. And you say Shot City, the tailgate show, the tailgate show, the tailgate show. And you say Shot City, the tailgate show, the tailgate show, the tailgate show. And you say Shot City, the tailgate show, the tailgate show, the tailgate show. And you say Shot City, the tailgate show, the tailgate show, the tailgate show. What's up? Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Just more of the same.
Welcome.
Yo, did that shit? Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Tailgate Show. Fresh off what I'm calling the Depresser Conference, because we got real fucking depressed about the Bears from that depressor of a shit show of 90-minute conference. Like, what?
That is the audio and video diarrhea of all times.
That was like watching, like, Netflix just released that 2020 documentary, and I can't watch it because I lived it. Like, it's too fresh in my mind. Like, that was like watching a 2020 documentary.
Like I would rather have watched Chris Conte blow coverage for 90 minutes straight than watch that. Like, I would rather watch on a loop every just gut-wrenching play against the Bears over the last 5 seasons on a loop than have watched that just shit show.
It's one thing to, like, a bad football loss sucks too, but like this felt like, as a fan, and like just more devastating than any moment I can remember something the Bears did. Like, I just feel like we spent a lot of time on this. You know what I mean? We love this team. We love talking about this team. We get into it pretty hard. You know what I mean? We do this year round talking Bears. And I just feel like we have a fan base that's knowledgeable and that has a lot of passion.
Yeah.
This was so bad that Bears Twitter united. Okay, this was so bad that got people arguing.
We were already on some unification shit, taking Queen's boy to school because he thought he had all the info and was leaking leaks and tipping tips. And
I'm just saying, it felt like a unification on Twitter that I've never seen. That's how bad this was.
Go ahead, Jared.
On an all-time level, there's such a disconnect between ownership and fans. It's pretty sad. It was prepared speeches. They really collaborated on it. They really got their collaboration on. It was just, as a Bears fan, it's probably I feel like, one of the darkest days as a Bears fan that I've ever experienced.
Well, and what's crazy is that, like, somebody sat down and wrote that shit and was like,
it was terrible.
Somebody sat down, wrote it, and ostensibly all these dudes approved it. Like, they read that and they were like, yes, this is what we want to say. We're going to highlight collaboration. We're going to talk about how they stuck together. We are going to mention how the players played their butts off for this guy and this and that. And
we got Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, and then like so they had all that down and they were like, yes, this is going to be great. We're going to cap it all off by talking about what an accomplishment it was to manage COVID. And then also what an accomplishment it was to lose 6 games and not stab each other in the throats.
Publicly.
Like, and that shall be their crowning achievement. People were talking about over the last couple of weeks, what are the signature moments of the 2020 Bears? What's the signature win? What's the signature loss? What's the signature play? This is the signature moment of the 2020 Bears. This hot, flaming dumpster fire of bullshit that they trotted out there. And I don't know where it came from, but we were all on this possible fairy tale of Ted Phillips retiring. And we were willing to even accept that, right? If somehow, even if they made Ryan Pace the president and we had different scenarios of this and that going on, ultimately they just said, you know what? We've had a lot of shit through these halls, a lot of garbage on this team, and these guys are better than that.
Yeah.
And so we are too lazy, basically, and don't have the stomach for change. So we're just going to go ahead and give these guys another shot. And not to say that, there's not some reasons why you might give these guys another shot, but it just felt so insulting to our intelligence as fans and so insulting just in the sense that they thought that this shit was going to fly. Like, you thought this dog would hunt. Like, you read this speech and you were like, yeah, that's what we're going to go out there for 90 minutes and fucking say to the fan base.
Not only did they say it, they doubled down on it. And then today, Chicago, I feel sorry for y'all in town that had to listen to that on Sports Talk Radio. Good on Waddle and Sylvie and all those guys for holding them to the fire. But to have to see how far apart the intelligent fans are and ownership is
right
over there.
But here's the thing is that
have it rubbed in your face.
Yeah, but here's the thing is that that's the relationship that ownership has had with the fan base forever. So this isn't new. It's just being exposed. Like, we put them in that castle. We put Virginia on this pedestal. We put the House family on this pedestal. We accept the fucking mediocrity. We lap it up with a fucking spoon. We go there and we see that shitty ass stadium and we think it's awesome, even though it's fucking not awesome. Sorry, folks. Like, it's not awesome. It's not a world-class stadium. It's a fucking monument with a ramrodded spaceship shoved into it. It doesn't even fit right. Yeah. We put them in this position of dominance over us. And then when they go up there and go, you know what? This is an unpopular decision. We know it's unpopular. Guess what? We're making it anyway. And guess what? We also know that you'll be back.
All right. Is my mic muted? Because I've tried cutting like 3 times. All right. Ready? Go. I was just going to finish off by saying, dude, I'm just like, okay. Jared, go ahead. I'm like, damn. All right. Sorry. No, it's all good, man. But like, this is how the depths that this sank at Unified Bears Twitter. Yo, stat nerds or tape junkies, the stats and the tape tell the same goddamn story. This is a result-driven business, and stats matter just as much as tape because stats actually make more money for this league than people breaking down tape. You got fantasy football. Stats fucking matter to this league. Mm-hmm. Okay? And
yeah, stats make money. Tape takes money.
The stats were shit. The tape was shit. Yeah. It's shit for everybody. This is the most like unified Bears fans have been, man, and it's not because of a good thing. This team, it was so patronizing, like you said, hey man, this shit. They talked down to us. It was almost like.
And the thing is that we know they're all fucking idiots. Yeah. So like, how dare you?
Wasn't Ted the accountant before he became what he is?
Bro, I guess. I mean, he was either that or he was parking cars.
Think about this though. This dude's an accountant, right? Because you have a family that started with the beginning of the NFL. This became a freaking moneymaker. Like this thing took off. And they have this guy that is an accountant too. You know how much dirt he has on this ownership? You know how much shit?
He's in to the organization more than George. Ted's hooks are in the organization more than George.
The shit that could potentially leak out if he got fired.
Well, there's some crazy airtight agreements that he would have to sign to ever sever. I'm sure that when you go in there, there's a non-disclosure agreement that's fucking like 450 pages long.
I'm just saying, like, you got a statue of Hallis behind you, and just like a 100-year book Like, what was he in, like a closet? The other dudes are in these tight offices with these nice desks behind them.
I'm not
Like,
sure. I'm gonna have
Palace
to
would not tolerate the what's going on right now.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to collaborate with the Giants and the Cardinals on this just so
Go to your
so I
enemies.
know how to deal with
Like,
this.
you go to your competition
Really?
for
Well,
advice.
Like they've been sort of surviving on this mystery of what the arrangement is, right? Like, and I think they've sort of lived in that space of like, nobody really knows what Ted is doing. And, you know, we went from thinking Ted's got his hands in every cookie jar to now sort of believing that Ted stepped aside, right? And George is still trying to sell this steaming pile that George doesn't meddle in football operations. And that may well be true, but
They had the rumor
like,
about him with LaDainian Tomlinson that he didn't want to move up in the draft because they were talking about Waddle and Sylvie.
yeah.
That Ted stopped that from happening. He didn't let them trade up to get LT.
Yeah. I mean,
He's metal.
there's a little bit, actually a lot of bit, of Jerry Krause in Ted Phillips. You know, he's and Jerry Krause is the extreme meddler. He's the super meddler. He's the fucking penguin. He's in the he's fucking doing. But Ted, I mean, Ted's had a lot of influence. Like, Ted's in this. Like, Ted acts like he wants to be in the background sometimes, but he's not in the background of anything. I mean, they basically gave a big fat fuck you to anybody who ever had said fire Ted Phillips. I mean, literally, they will never fire Ted Phillips. They won't move him to the background. They won't thank him for his service. They won't send him off into the sunset. Like, he's going to be in that job until he dies or the team is sold. That is what was said to us in the last couple of days. Like, so you don't have to like it, but you have to accept it. So anybody we could just kill all that fire Ted Phillips shit. That ain't happening.
I can tell you right now, for the first time, and I'm not just saying this, like, I'm not buying anything. Like, I usually spend a couple $100, like, when the new shit comes out.
Yeah, no, I'm on a freeze for Bears purchases. Absolutely.
Like, I love this team. I love talking this team, but man,
I will not, like, guaranteed. Now, if Deshaun Watson comes to town, I'll throw all this shit right out the window.
You just, I mean,
but for now, when I'm in my
hold up.
You see that tweet with The Rock? Down, boy, down.
So you're going to give him credit for going after the guy that they should have went after in the first.
I'm not going to. No.
And you're going to let Ryan Pace off the hook?
No, it's like if. The way I look at it is like this: if we got this, if they somehow came up with Deshaun Watson, it'd be like, you know, like everybody has that one friend that's like a fuck up, but you're still their friend and you stand by them no matter what, even though everybody's like, why are you still friends with that person? They're a fuck up. They keep fucking up. You warn them, blah, blah. But you love that person. You're like, you've been through some shit with them. And then they come up and they get, you know, to get a little fortune, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm glad I'm friends with that person. Like, that's how it'll be. Like, I hate the Bears right now. I'm very fucking angry with the Bears. But if they hit the lottery or go out and spend and buy me a big fancy ring and say, please, baby, please come back. Look at this shiny Deshaun Watson that I got you. Oh, I'll come running back. I will run back like just a sad person. I'll run back quickly.
But I just I don't think that guy gets any credit for fucking it up and then overpaying.
So here's the thing.
Why? That's Pace. Pace's MO to a T. Nothing could be more Pace than spending too much on a Mitch Trubisky and then trading it in and going upside down. They're upside down into Mitch right now, and they're going to have to go out and replace him with the most expensive replacement.
I'll tell you this though. So they're talking about the growth of Pace. They think he's still growing, and they are both young. But I'm not defending them. It's been bad, but what is more growth really? What shows more growth than admitting you were wrong and bringing the guy in that you should have got the first time and showing that be fucking humble. There's nothing. I don't give a fuck. Deshaun Watson.
Pace doesn't
even
think
if
he
we have
made
to give up. What I'm saying is Mitch has dug us a hole. And if we have to give up a couple draft picks or whatever the hell the cost is going to be, Deshaun will take us way the fuck out of the hole that Mitch put us in.
Hey, the whole point is that they don't think that they were wrong on anything.
No, they
Their
just
farts
think
don't stink.
they basically just said like, calm down, everyone, you simpletons. Sometimes you have to go a long way out of your way to come back a short distance correctly.
And in the chat, you're right, bro. Like that's the other flip side is Watson might not want to come here and play for a guy that didn't even fucking look into him.
Listen, Watson has been playing for the Texans, and he hates the Texans. Like,
yo, he's got a grudge with the Bears too for not even like approaching him.
bro, if they give up 3 first-round picks and they get down on bended knee and say, "Hey, man, we screwed up." A lot of people thought Mitch was the first pick. We screwed up. We're really sorry. We'd love you to represent our franchise.
Sorry,
Miami's got more draft equity.
Like, they're going to come to Deshaun and be like, come on, man, I'm down bad. Like, I'm down bad. You got to help me out. And Deshaun will be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but Miami, Deshaun would rather have Miami have to give back
the
pick that they gained.
But here's and I guess we're just full on into this now. Because, I mean, honestly, the presser.
Oh, no, we could still go on the presser, bro. Deshaun. Like we're just talking about
I took us there. That's my fault. I took us there.
No, I'll tell you this.
I'll talk Deshaun for a whole pod, bro.
Kudos to you, AA, for nailing the presser before it even came out.
Listen, I mean, I know these guys to a certain degree. I mean, they do always surprise me. Like I think I've seen the worst of them, and they just dig deeper.
Yeah, you thought the announcement would be made the way it was. But like the way it was presented, there's no way you saw that.
No, I mean, like I said, they always surprise you with how bad they really can be. Like, I mean, to say the things that they said, the capper of all cappers is Ted, who should never be allowed to speak. Like, says, did we get the quarterback right? Mostly no. Have we won enough games? No. But everything else is there. What?
We're the 2020 NFL culture champions.
Yes. And he thinks that the Bears culture is the envy of other teams. Why? Because they all clown the shit out of Club Dub? Was that what made you think that the Bears culture was the envy of all the teams that they clown? And believe me, we ate up Club Dub and we ate up Boom and all that shit. So I'm not saying that, but the rest of the league was clowning that shit hard. Like the Raiders made fun of it. The Saints made fun of it. Like lots of teams probably made fun of it. You know, they just beat a lot of teams. When they dusted that crusty thing off in 2019 and were doing that shit, they were getting roasted. Guaranteed they were getting roasted. There is no team in the league that envies the Bears culture.
Yo, Club Dub this year even had fights in the club. Like dudes were getting like punched.
Yeah, right? Like the Club Dub this year they were letting hookers in, like you know, you could get some seriously stepped on fucking 8 balls in Club Dub this year. Like,
chop it up.
Yeah, like you could, you know, you could
be
like putting baby laxative on your fucking Club Dub's a motherfucker this year.
The 6-game losing streak was spun positively by these fucks.
They thought that, and Nagy did that, and I lost my mind. About acting like that shit was an accomplishment.
We went 3-8 to finish off.
Like I was like, what the fuck? They really think that all they had to say was what they kind of said, which is that listen, we know this isn't popular. We've always viewed Nagy and Pace as young, up and coming people. We feel that their body of work is good enough to give them more time. We believe that with more time and through the evolution and the knowledge that they've gained, the experience they've gained on the job, we have decided that their body of work warrants further time on the job because we believe that in this current climate, they can bring us out of this. That's all they had to say. But they came up with some corny ass reasons about sticking together and not turning on each other.
That sounded just as bad, though. I'm in a mood, bro.
It was horrible.
No, even though the delivery you were
Oh,
saying.
what I said? Yeah, I mean, it would still piss people off. And I think George said this a couple times, that he was basically like, they felt like they had a no-win situation. Like, they knew they made a no-win decision.
There were two games where they had their back to the wall, technically.
Right,
and
but
this great culture, like Anthony Miller showed that culture in the last game.
Like, did you guys listen to Hogan Johns?
Oh, yeah.
No,
I did.
The opening of that shit was epic.
Yeah, with Johnny Cash hurt.
Mm-hmm. Like they cut together George's comments opening statement with Johnny Cash hurt. You know, the 9 Inch Nails cover, which is like better than the original almost. Not quite, but it's very good.
To him.
You never listened to Hogan Johns?
No, 9 Inch Nails.
Oh,
what?
You don't know that song? You don't know Hurt?
Oh my god,
man! Anyway, it was
band
fucking
named 9 Inch Nails just never sounded appealing to me.
It was one guy, dude. Like this 9 Inch Nails is what Mark Rebele is like birthed out of, because 9 Inch Nails is one guy that made like amazing music. Like he's fucking the granddaddy of all these TikTok DJs and all these one-man band shits and all these one-man producers. That dude's like
that's cool
OG of all that.
Trent Reznor, baby.
Yeah, like Trent Reznor's a fucking genius, bro. Like
that's
to the
cool.
point where he wrote songs that big acts covered and then made hits from those. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like what? Like it's like double hits. Anyway. Blows my mind you don't know that. Anyway, so they did a perfect job. The point is, it's about fucking betrayal. Like, it was just, it's basically finding out again that somebody fucking that you love is full of shit. Like, you just like, oh my God, look at who I love right now. When we were all just sitting there like, look at this shit. Like, look at them just fucking vomiting all over their pressed shirts.
A relationship like that, you'll put up with a little bit if the cootie's good.
And it's not.
It's not.
It's stank.
It's stank trailer ass, bro.
All right, so yeah, that's a whole nother level then.
It's crusty.
Yo, crusty. Why would you be in a relationship with that?
Well, I mean, you know, because they take us out on the weekends.
Nah, hell no.
On Sundays, they get down. They like to party.
Bro.
They party on Sundays. Like
Krusty gets no love from me, bro. Fuck.
I mean,
I'd be out first sight of that shit.
Hey, you've been snugged up on Krusty for 30 years.
When you put in that fucking round.
Yeah, man.
Just saying, Krusty is there. It's just insulting, man. Like it's just insulting.
You can't let it get crusty. You need to get up and wipe off.
I wish if we can wipe this shit, we would, bro. I would spray it. I would hose it down. Something, bro. I'd hose it down.
So now you're calling Deshaun a douche. See how that works? Because he come in and clean it up.
Wow. Summer's Eve, Deshaun coming through to clean up that crust.
Yo, the Massengale night.
Yeah. Fuck.
No.
Crusty crust.
Yep. Just get prepared to train your livers now, so by the time football season shows up, you're ready.
Yo, if we get
that's what's messed up is like as mad as.
Yo, if we get Deshaun, that would turn our things around real quick. I'll go from, I'll go from 6 to 12 real quick.
But here's the thing: is that like they know that Bears fans are straight lunatics anyway, and we get mad about everything. So they know, and I'm surprised even George went on the radio. That shows you how bad Depresser was. Is that they were like, oh snap? Because normally I don't think they would even care because they know that we're stuck on crazy anyway. So like they're just like, let it blow over. You know, put out a couple of hype videos. Like
George went on Waddle and Sylvie after the presser last year.
Yeah, I mean maybe it's part of the program.
He did 670 though, did he?
Yeah, they normally do both, and of course, but BBM because that's their flagship. But
BBM.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like they went. It's been a while since I've seen like this kind of damage control attempt, and it just really didn't. It really didn't work. Like,
No, I mean, let's talk about that just for a little bit. Mark Potash comes out swinging.
The press
for him.
freaking came through for us, man. They tried their hardest.
And then Hub even got a little piece of that action. He's like, well, what's up with your contract there, Mr. Pace?
Dude, collectively, they all kind of, in their own way, came out and tried to give him the questions that they spoke for the fans, man. They just
that's what the press should do. It should be the voice of the people.
Well, and this again is one of the things that I think is the coolest part about Bears Twitter.
Yeah.
Is that we really have an effect on what these reporters, Bear Down Laura, our boy Ira says they can save the positive shit for lunch with Larry. Exactly. That's our whole MO. That's like our slogan. Like, save your corny shit for lunch with Larry. Because I'm like we're not Larry Mayer over here. But I just think
but all of us on Twitter have an effect on the way questions are asked, on the way this team's covered. And the radio too.
Exactly. And that's what's cool is that there's a real synergy, but that has not always been the case.
Don't use that word.
Yo, there's a collaboration going on this.
Yes, Bears Twitter and the reporters are collaborating on their ass now.
Yeah, exactly.
But that has not been the case. There's been a lot of antagonism between, Bears podcasts and reporters. In fact, some Bears podcasts
now they're doing podcasts.
Think that it's fucking fresh to start shit with reporters and do whole episodes about how the post-game show sucks and dumb shit like that. So I think Bears Twitter and the Bears reporters, it's kind of funny because
the post-game show is dope. It's one of my go-tos. I love
all those dudes are fucking great. Like, we have an amazing sort of zeitgeist of
ESPN
Bears
radio, man, they're killing it.
But the cool part of Olin being around and Alex Brown and Matt Forte and Lance Briggs and some of these cats that are around and really care about the team and are taking an interest, and even Spice Adams on the side feeling our pain but then also making us laugh. It's a really rich sort of family of fan experience, you know what I mean, with all the different aspects that you can plug into and all that stuff. But I think there's an interesting thing where
now.
They had to come.
We put them in the position. Sorry, ESPN 1000. We put them in the position where we're not direct competition, but people also listen to podcasts, right?
Yes.
So we've all of us collectively that podcasts have created this environment where now the national guys can kind of chill and bring it back. You're seeing more of these McAfee type shows rise up. There's a movement there. So
because people want real
radio.
They want real shit. They want real talk. They don't want some guy They don't want some guy trying to pretend to be a reporter. Go ahead, Jared.
I live in a rural area outside of the market.
Right.
So where do I get my information from?
Right.
It's got to be podcast. And it's got.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, you can listen to any show now, but you're right.
But still, primarily.
But we talked about this, and this has been an effect of the pandemic. Is that the pandemic brought them, not want to say down, but shifted them over to basically what we do.
Yep. And
they're not as fucking good at it. The people that are used to TV with producers and radio with producers and engineers and all this shit, you know what I mean? This on-air talent, they don't know about, this do-it-yourself shit that podcasters have had to string together. You know what I mean? Recording on fucking, Skype and and just all this shit. They don't. I watch. I'm not saying we're anything. I'm just saying
cell phones, bro.
Right. I'm just saying these people. You watch the feed of 670 and our shit looks better than theirs. You know what I mean? It's a cleaner product. I mean, it's obviously I'm not trying to shit on that, but I'm saying they had to come and learn the medium from the angle that we had already been coming at it from. And a ton
ESPN
of
had to bring a whole
podcasters
new
have been
team.
coming.
Didn't they got bought by another? They like a new management group came in because they had to change that dynamic.
And that's why that Good Karma group, came in and they had already done the same thing for ESPN Boston. And it's basically like you have to modernize. Like you cannot just keep doing the same shit. Like you can't just keep taking calls. And I still think local shows take too many fucking calls. But people talk about the callers, so I guess at the end of the day, that's fine, I suppose. But I still think they take too many callers. But they had to switch it up and kind of learn how to do what it is that podcasters do. So there's a funny like almost leveling of the playing field. Right now,
except for access. I mean,
of course, but with the Zoom shit, that's been another leveling of the playing field because they don't have any more access than a lot of us do at all. Like, and in fact, like, and we clown it, but like, you could get more access to the players like playing fucking online games than going to a press conference. You know what I mean? Because the access is so limited. And the Bears love that shit. They love that shit because they love to think they're on some cloak and dagger shit. Like so secretive. And it's like we're talking about the Pace contract and to bring it all the way back to that. They think there's some power in having that secret, or they think there's some negative power in letting that out. So the only thing you can be led to believe is one, and George refuted this on Parkin's show today, basically kind of refuted the idea that Pace is a lame duck. So one of two things has happened. They've definitely extended Pace to the same contract length as Nagy. So they're both, I think, on 2 years. Or I wouldn't even be surprised if they've secretly extended them.
Yeah, I mean, to fix this though, like Louis Riddick nailed it. Like this isn't a 1 year fix. Like, and to what he even commented on what George said about we're just a quarterback and wins short. Riddick's like, no, you need to fix your O line. You need to fix your outside weapons. You need to fix like your defensive backs. Like,
the thing that we always forget, and Riddick knows, and a lot of people know, and I think fans conveniently forget, is you're never done.
Nope.
You can never like check that box and be like, oh, the O-line is fine. We're good on the O-line. No, you're fucking not. It needs to be a living, breathing organism where it's like, okay, I'm fine now, but what about tomorrow when John Q. Fat Guy steps off on a Lego at his house? Who's playing? And the good organizations
have depth,
know what that fucking is, and they have the guy behind him ready to fucking go and full of that, like, hey, you're not the starter right now, but you're on this team because you're good enough to be the starter.
So you mean Josh Woods and Joely Booniway were not the guys?
Or even Sam Mustipher and Alex Bars, like they had to get themselves ready, bro. They were not ready because they believed that they were on a team that was having a meritocracy. They believed that they were on a team that had a bunch of dudes that got on the field every week and nobody knows why the fuck they're on the field. You think that if we are thinking that, the players aren't thinking, why the fuck isn't Riley Ridley play? Why the fuck is Rashad Coward still out here playing next to me? And you want to know what's demoralizing to the defense? That shit. When the offense sucks and they know clearly that for some weird-ass reason, you aren't even putting the best players on the team out there.
Isn't it crazy?
That's the culture. And so it's like, oh, and we forgave Javon Wims because he was really sorry.
I've been really sorry before and got my sorry ass fired.
It's like you were really sorry that some dude pulled your mouthpiece out and you sat on the sideline and pouted for 10 minutes, and then as soon as you got a chance, you slapped a guy who's wearing a helmet. That's unforgivable because it represents such a deep-seated stupidity that I can't help you, man. If Javon Wims thinks he can take that away with a sorry, I cannot help this dude. And all I do,
he can though. That's the whole thing.
Right. And all I do by accepting his apology and letting him stay on the team is send a strong message to every single person on that team that you can fuck up this much and we're going to forgive you.
My biggest fear is Nagy has one of his like Nagy wet dream moments and they bring in Alex Smith. So you got Alex Smith and then Foles backing him up and then Tyler Bray. That would be like a Nagy salad, right? Like a Nagy salad.
I mean, that's like a mash unit. I mean,
I know what you're saying there.
But I'm just saying, like, I wanted Alex Smith last offseason if he was healthy, but like we saw what Alex Smith is now, and that would be Bears. Like you bring him in, and then like it's like Thanos to his leg in the preseason,
bro. Like
exactly. I'm just saying, like
exactly. Like I don't. It feels wrong to watch Alex Smith play football. Like I want to be like, yes, this is so awesome that he did this, and they showed that like trophy that his wife made out of the crazy contraption they had to use to keep his fucking leg together. Like it just feels dirty to watch him play. Like I want to be like, bro, it's not worth it. Yeah, like just stop it, man. Like don't do this. Like what are you doing? Playing for Dan Snyder and the Washington football team. Like, stop, man. Like, put the drugs away. Like, I don't know. Like,
I just don't know their plan to fix it. Like, if you draft, like, say you draft Lance, right? If you move up to draft him, he's a kid that needs to sit and develop. Like, that's not going to be something that's going to come in and fix shit right away. You need a veteran.
Oh,
I don't know how long they have left. If it's a year, they have to fix this.
No, they don't. That's the thing is they do not have a year. I think they have at least 2 years.
I mean, I don't know if it's like not Dak.
Well,
Deshaun,
I think that has to be the perception.
But George said that today. Parkins asked him if Pace wants to, trade picks, future picks. Is he a lame duck GM? I mean, I'm paraphrasing it, but George was like, no, he's not a lame duck GM, and I take offense to that statement, because he's somebody that that we're behind and we've put more faith in. They have reinvested. This is not like such a stopgap mode for them. They are deciding to stay the course. They are standing in the face of the whirlwind. Yes, they've convinced them of a lot.
I'm just saying they must have convinced them who they're bringing in to fix the situation.
I don't even know if it's that like Ted and George are so stupid when it comes to football that they have been absolutely snake charmed by these dudes. Like,
I mean, you can't be stupid enough not to know like Dak or Deshaun.
Like they have the media department putting together videos, and Ted and George are just like, like they're so fucking excited. Like it's like the first time you show your grandma an iPad and she's just like, what?
And that's why that once in a while they should let like a podcaster in to be able to ask questions to these guys, because I'd be like, fine, George isn't the football meddler that we thought he was, according to you, but who the fuck decided on Lyrical Lemonade? Was that George? Was that Ted?
And that's the question is I don't know that answer, and that we still don't know. I mean, they really stood up there and said that
if that was his leadership, that's bad enough to get fired.
Ted's leadership was crucial.
Extraordinary. His leadership.
He led them through COVID. Been
extraordinary. Yes, fuck that. Andre Tucker led them through. The players and their personal responsibility and discipline got them through this shit. No, fuck Ted Phillips. Ted Phillips didn't do a goddamn thing except for make sure that the lights stayed on. Pay the fucking bills.
He financially
kept the Wi-Fi going. Bought a bunch of iPads.
Just say, that's what I'm saying. Just say financially, Ted guided us through this time that was a little hard for the league.
But you know why? Because the NFL prints fucking money. You said this. You said every fucking year these assholes get a check from the league for $270 million.
Yeah.
That covers the operating costs, okay? You got $190 million for the payroll, then you got $80 million to play around.
Bro. I'm saying because that's basically what they said.
The city is still paying for the fucking stadium. You don't pay any rent or any any percentages to any stadium, or you're not paying. They have no. I don't think they have any debt maintenance that they're paying on the stadium. They probably have it on the renovation, on the Hallis Hall renovation. But you know how fucking rich billionaires do. They'll be making money on their debt maintenance somehow because they'll have that all flipped around. You know. Like, it's all just a bunch of glad-handing fucking bank circle jerks.
Last
like,
comment in the chat is right, though. They bring in a rookie. That is more of an excuse that we need more time.
But what I'm saying is there is no 1 year ultimatum. Nobody said a 1 year ultimatum. We're adding that because we want there to be. There is not one. Nope. They are good to go as long as there is not an epic, complete and utter meltdown or some embarrassing thing, you know, like
coming soon.
You know, unless there's that. And I think if you get a rookie quarterback that everybody's all hyped about, you trade up.
We could go 9-7.
Then no. I think if you get a rookie quarterback and everybody's all hype dick about it, you can go 4-12 because it's like,
here comes Mormon Mitch, baby.
Yes, here's that. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. And let me tell you what will melt this fan base down.
If they're this close to getting like Deshaun in the door and it's something stupid that blows it up and we lose out on him twice,
if we lose out on him twice, or if we do some shit like trade up, you know, I mean, basically the Bears almost have to trade up for Justin Fields.
I can't see Houston actually letting Deshaun go, though. There's no way.
I mean, they'd be fucking stupid. Yeah. Like, supposedly they're acquiescing somewhat to his shit now because, like, they're gonna.
They just saw James Harden leave. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. But then they're like, damn, look at all the picks they got for him. Like,
I'm a Rockets fan. I'm not mad about it. Not mad at all.
Yeah, but you have the dude's shoes. Come on, you're a little man.
I loved Harden, but like he became a dick.
That's what the NBA's different. One player doesn't make that much of a difference, but Deshaun Watson comes close.
Victor Oladipo is now the greatest player to ever lace him up.
I didn't say that. I said he would work in a backcourt better with John Wall than Harden.
But don't you think that if they got a rookie quarterback that everybody's all hyped about, but they have to be very careful.
Man, I don't think you could sell a rookie.
Jared just got salty because we took your boy.
It's a tough time in Indiana. Like, Indiana basketball is a flaming mess. Like, flaming. And after this season of football dominance, I don't even Jared's he's out. I'm just saying,
you got a better GM in your home state for
that right. Well, is he? I mean,
really?
Is Ballard all that?
Yeah.
Just because he took Darius Leonard and fucking your boy.
Yep, he is because they lost the franchise quarterback. They bounced back from it. He's got them several. I mean, millions and millions of dollars under the cap, like pretty healthy cap situation.
They lost in the first round. Yeah, you're right. They lost in the first round of the playoffs too, though.
Losing in the first round of the AFC playoffs is different than getting blown out in the NFC.
Maybe
like the AFC, you had to be 11-5 to get the 7th seed, bro.
No, it is like the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference and the NBA
now it is.
Now. Yeah, like the AFC is like the AFC champion is basically the Super Bowl champion.
They had to go 11-5 to get the extra seed. Like, that's insane.
Speaking of Super Bowl, Soleil went where? To the Giants.
Jets. Props to the teams that hired black GMs. That was cool. Brad Holmes to the Lions. And what's the other guy?
I do like Silly.
Qualified,
Silly. I think he's gonna be a good head coach, man. Vin Diesel.
No, I mean, it shouldn't matter. Color shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't. But there as you know.
I want to make sure that I get that statement clear.
Absolutely.
I am glad
that
a person of color.
I've
that
spaced
position
out.
that is qualified for that position.
Right.
Right. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying it's a long time coming that people are getting opportunities, and that's just.
What are you saying?
Stop it.
Anyway,
Stop
and other big shit. Urban Meyer is the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's kind of a trend.
He's taking Fat Randy with him too.
Yeah,
Oh,
Louis
man.
Riddick had some interviews though. Like he didn't he? He had like 2 or 3, I thought. Like
Yes, he's had interviews.
I figured he'd get it, man.
I don't know. I mean, the way he was talking about it, he was talking about it today. You know, he said like, I don't know how much he wants that. Like this,
He'd have to have a perfect situation. He's got a pretty good.
Yes, he can wait. He can bide his time. Like he's got a good ass gig.
He likes Matt though. He's like, I have never talked to Pace, but I like Matt.
Oh, he's his friend. I mean, I think he's been very honest about him. But listen. I think
You're just
Riddick
surprised
is
like a guy like Pace hasn't talked to Riddick yet.
Like Riddick can ride on the Monday night thing for as long as he wants. Like literally, he can probably have that job for 20 years.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing.
So there's no point in selling that right now to trade it for one of these GM jobs.
Yeah, but how much more does a GM job pay? You got to work 3, 4.
I don't
5
know, but
years.
if his next contract on Monday Night Football, I guarantee you, is going to be huge. People are talking about Tony Romo should do this and that. Tony Romo makes $1 million a game. Okay, he's not going to come be the offensive coordinator for the fucking Bears.
They're paying these dudes like they used to pay the people that did Friends.
Bill Lazor, not that this is some kind of sneeze on money, but Bill Lazor probably makes $1 million. Tony Romo's making 17, and he's already rich.
Can you imagine? Yeah, but the difference is, could you imagine Bill Lazor calling a game? Oh my God! There's a reason why he's making $1 million.
We just lived it.
You're right.
No, I'm not talking about calling an offensive gameplay. I'm talking about actually calling a game like nationally, like as a commentator.
He did. El Jefe said,
Yes. A lot of people love Mitch. We know.
No, I'm just saying. You've heard
Mitch.
Bill Lazor talk. Remember his introductory interview?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine that for 2.5 hours calling a football game?
Can I ask you guys a question about this? If you bring it, you were on the original topic of bringing it.
Why would Bill Lazor be in the Monday Night Football booth?
That's what I was saying. He makes $1 million. Tony makes 16. Tony's more talented.
I understand that, but people are actually
just joking and saying, can you imagine
that the broadcast jobs are so much lower. They're not anymore.
Yeah.
That's my point.
It was a joke, bro. I'm just saying. Could you imagine Lazor doing that?
I didn't follow. My bad.
Do you think this team could realistically bring in a rookie quarterback and try to sell it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they could,
bro. We will eat it up, my man. If it's somebody that people that there's a little buzzing hive for. If we get Trey Lance, people get hyped. If we get any of these dudes, if we get Justin Wilson, the Ohio State quarterback, there's so many Ohio State / Bears fans. I
don't know about Lance. I think with Lance, if you put him right in, you're gonna have some Mitch moments. He's raw, man.
Okay, but he's also isn't he the next Josh Allen? Yes, he's a wild card. He's the guy with the high ceiling and the big arm, and nobody knows the competition he's played against. I mean, obviously Trey Lance is a thing because of Carson Wentz in a way. That's what
he's going to go later in the draft than Allen did, though.
You think?
I don't know.
That's the thing is nobody knows. That's the question is.
I've been here before, though. You see guys that don't look like they're going to pan out. I didn't think Mahomes was.
But we have talked about how this fan base gets hyped about the most stupid shit about
I just
Thomas
want Watson
Ives.
too, man. I just want Watson here. I've wanted him here since the draft. So,
but we found a way to get hyped about Mitch Trubisky, bro. If they get one of these top 5 guys that
we drank the Kool-Aid, not during the draft, we didn't.
But when push came to shove, we got fucking hyped, okay? So you're asking me if the fan base will get hyped about Justin Fields, Wilson, Mac Jones, or Trey Lance? Absolutely, we will get hyped to the fucking nth degree because that's what we do.
About Mac Jones?
Yep.
Really?
Kyle Trask.
Yep.
I think
eventually.
Yo,
not right on the night of the pick. I'd be like, if they trade up for Kyle Trask, I'll be salty. But
Mac
when
Jones,
push comes to shove, I'm gonna be hyped because I don't want to see Foles ever get brought out there like Weekend at Bernie's.
You're
Like,
talking about starting this year, like Mac Jones. Like we would have to shore up our tackles. You need a block for this kid. Like he's not going to extend plays. Like I like him. It's hard with Bama quarterbacks though because they got 5-star recruits at every freaking position, bro.
why is that a downgrade for him though? Why does that make it? Why does that make it? To me, like, okay,
yeah,
that might be.
They're not like a
downgrade.
college team. They're like a semi-pro team.
But that's fine. But they're also playing against those caliber of teams a lot of the time. They're not always.
But give me a Bama quarterback that's a franchise guy,
bro. Like the way you stand Notre Dame players, and then you want to discount.
Whoa! For the record, you're the one that wants a Notre Dame quarterback. I don't want him here,
bro. But I'm just saying, like, I don't understand why these Alabama players get shit on for playing against the best and playing with the best.
What I'm saying is some quarterbacks are a reflection, like we thought Foles would be, of their talent. Mac Jones has a lot of talent around him. He's going to come here and not have as much talent.
But if you are
I'm talking about throwing him in this year.
I know.
Like him. I would like him as a development quarterback.
But if you are the starter for Alabama, think who would you have to beat?
Give me a Bama quarterback
every position
that tore it up in college that's done anything in the NFL.
No. They come out having had to compete against insane talent just to even start. Like, I don't think that discounts him at all. It's the kind of thing that works for, like, okay, Byron Leftwich, when he was throwing to Randy Moss, that was just stupid. Like, it was like Randy Moss was so far and away a better athlete
go
than
before him in the draft, bro. You act like they have scrubs. This fucking team is stacked.
I act like they have scrubs? Get the fuck out of here. I don't act like they have scrubs. I'm just saying it doesn't. I watch him throw, and it isn't like he's throwing to dudes that are 40 yards open because they're so athletically superior to everybody else on the field. That's not the case. They're playing against first-round corners.
Hey!
Yeah.
Collaborate. Fucking collaborate.
And listen.
I don't dislike him. I think that here in this current situation, if he's going to be thrown in as a starter, we need to shore up our O-line too. You need a block for this guy.
You need to shore up the O-line no matter what.
What I'm saying, bro, is if you brought Deshaun Watson here, everybody would get better. If you brought Mac Jones here right now, you have to get better around him initially. I like him as a prospect. I would like him if he could develop under somebody, but to throw him out and it might get a little rough for him. That's
I'm not saying
I like him as a college quarterback.
This is not what I'm saying. I am not saying you draft Mac Jones and then you just throw him out there to the Wolves.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, like
if you stay at 20 and you determine that your best option is to take a quarterback, which is a rough sell for me because I think there's going to be some.
I saw the tackle from Bama mocked to
Kyle Pitts might be there. There's going to be. I don't think you take a tackle in the first round, but there's going to be some wide receivers.
You don't take a left tackle in the first round
at 20. I don't know if the value is going to be there.
They said that kid from Bama is pretty damn good.
I mean, listen, but you know, but is he good? Is he good, Brian? Because he plays with an all-pro guard right next to him, doesn't he? And he has an all-pro center, right? I mean, can an Alabama tackle be good? I mean, he's playing next to an all-pro tight end, right? Like, come on. How does that work for that? Doesn't work.
It works for it like this. He has a first-round talent tackle also.
Listen, Alex Leatherwood. Thank you, Kyle. Alex Leatherwood. Okay, Alex Leatherwood is great, but Alex Leatherwood still has to go to the Senior Bowl. He's not that great. He's not a surefire first-round pick. Absolutely not.
He's a senior?
Yeah, I don't know if he's
obviously he's not generation. If he's going
is he a senior? No, I said he's going to the Senior Bowl. Does that mean you have to be a senior to go to the Senior Bowl? Is that my stupid for even asking that? I don't even know what that means.
You also be a senior to go to the senior citizen.
No, but what I'm saying is that he's on a marketing campaign right now to get into the first round, right? Like, I don't know that he's a first-round pick. I think in the first round, and I've seen a lot of people say this, and I'm by far not a draft expert, nor would I ever purport to be. I don't, somebody was like, what about
He was mocked
Mond?
to us in the first round.
Yeah, right. Okay, fine. That means 0.
Yep.
Like,
Okay, you claim these are people that claim to be that actually do this. Like that's what they do, draft stuff.
It's great.
All right, so I'm trying to
Why
bring
are
you
we
an
talking
expert because
about-
you didn't call. You basically said I'm not an expert, but he's not first round. I said, well, the experts
I
are
just
saying
don't
that. You're
think
like,
he is. In my opinion, you should take an impact, like a real impact player in the first round. Somebody that impacts things
like a
immediately.
fucking tackle.
Do they?
Are you shitting me,
I think
bro?
how long have we been talking about how guards are now more valuable than tackles?
I'm not saying that, but if you can get a guy that can come in and start right away, that's an upgrade. Yeah,
Okay,
that affects things.
But
yeah.
but they are not so set on need at tackle that they should turn away a better player at another position. There's no position on this team that if there's a better player available at 20, you
upgrade to Leno? Are you kidding me? That'd be
that's your most important upgrade position.
Where do you build?
Upgrading Leno?
Where do you build, Jer?
I know you build on the line, but
on both sides of the ball.
That generally is where it goes, but the draft may dictate differently, and I feel like the draft is going to dictate that.
I just think we have something on the interior. I think we need to upgrade our tackles.
You can scheme.
Sorry, Jared, go ahead.
If you have receivers that can get separation, and you have playmakers like a Kyle Pitts or somehow Jalen Waddle falls to 20. If you can, that guy can do things even if you don't have protection. And so when you eventually get protection, you will have the benefit of that guy plus that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think that, you see tackles get drafted all over the place. Like, I just, I think the value falls off after the top 10. Now, there's sometimes that you should take a, that you see tackles go in the top 10, but those are like day one starters. I guess Leatherwood is
That's what I'm trying to say, man. Like, he's an upgrade to Leno. Potentially.
What I'm telling you is where we're going to pick. None of those people are going to be there. I think if you want to steal this draft, you get a linebacker, and you could get a really damn good linebacker.
Don't you think?
And I know it won't be popular. But at 20, if you stay at 20, your top corners are going to be gone. Your top tackles are going to be gone.
An outside backer, Jer, or
inside or outside?
But where do you play an inside backer?
Danny Trevathan, bye.
You can't get out of Danny's contract this year.
No, but you could have him groom that player.
Yeah, but listen, like the times when he's off the field right now, it's because they're in a sub package with extra DBs. It's not because they're
the scheme, with the previous scheme. Let's get that.
I think like that last message there. I agree, man. Like that would be mine too. Offensive QB OT wide receiver. You get a top 20 wide receiver. We need that.
Well,
I'm just telling that
we need inside linebacker depth, Jared. I'm not arguing that.
This is what I'm saying to you is that
we need a day one starter with the first pick.
Yeah,
like Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson, I think, was obviously a solid pick. Cole Kmet eventually turned out to be a solid pick.
Yeah, but first round, I don't want a backup right now. If we need to improve, we need a starter in the first round.
I agree with you, but what I'm telling you what I'm telling you is that you could possibly get a starter in that position and do better at that position.
Jerry, you pick linebacker. If it's an inside backer, it's not a starter. You're already deciding it's not a starter. No.
I don't know about that.
What? So then you're going to pay Trevathan to be on the bench? Well, that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. You're stuck with Trevathan.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure his contract's written that way, bro. Unless they trade him and get something for him.
And don't forget, you're going to have to pay Roquan soon. Yeah. Like, I don't see that.
You?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you are. Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying, as far as draft value, that might be your most valuable position that falls to you.
I don't see that. I mean, again, I don't know, and
Unless
I'm
we
not
have to
saying you're
trade
totally
Roquan
wrong.
for
I just
Deshaun or something stupid like
I
that.
just think that's some shit that like gets you fired because
Then
you
we
have
lose
to
our-
think
No,
about
it doesn't. Nothing gets you fired. Have you paid attention?
Well, no, but I mean, it gets you. It fucks up the team. Like I just think like you got to think of who you're passing up to take a linebacker at that position. Like, because at 20 there are going to be
Hopefully we don't have a
solid
first round pick because we got
ass.
Deshaun.
There's going to be some solid O line, wide receiver, possibly quarterback.
We might not be picking if he trades for Deshaun though. We might be picking in
Well,
the
of
fifth
course
round.
not. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
care. I'd trade away 4 first-round picks. I don't
So
care.
here we go. Jacksonville Jaguars are taking who?
Trevor Lawrence.
Jets. Who are they going to take? Quarterback.
They're going to take Wilson or Fields.
Miami Dolphins.
They are going to take Devontae Smith.
Atlanta Falcons. Quarterback.
Falcons are going to take either. They need defense, so if there's a, they will possibly.
That'll be your first edge.
I think that'll be your first big defensive pick.
Here's where your Bama receiver goes. Cincinnati.
Unless they somehow trade Matt Ryan. So
Yeah.
you think no? I said the Bama receiver goes to Miami. I think.
There's
Devontae
two.
Zach,
Smith.
Zach
You think
Wilson's going
Waddle?
to Zach Wilson's going to Atlanta.
Okay, Philadelphia.
I don't know if they're ready to draft the quarterback there.
I'm just
You were
saying.
at
I'm
Philly?
trying to get an idea.
Kyle Pitts
No,
will go
Philly?
to the Bengals.
Philly, they're not drafting a quarterback. Philly,
Right.
they're drafting a receiver. So that's where I think that's where Waddle
A
goes.
receiver or a DB?
No, Jamar Chase for Philly.
Okay,
You
you got
think?
the Lions next. Lions are on the Matt Stafford maybe getting out.
The
of
Lions
conference.
just
That Penn
Nope.
State linebacker, Pearson or Parsons, sorry, yeah.
no. I don't think so. They just
Carolina.
draft.
Carolina.
just- I don't think that, but I don't agree that they're drafting a linebacker.
Okay.
What is your point that they're not drafting what?
I'm just saying
They have to replace Kenny Galladay, right? I mean, I just don't think they're drafting a linebacker. Like, that could be. I mean, you think
because they don't need to invest on their defense at all.
So
Don't
that leads you to Carolina, who needs a quarterback. Denver, who doesn't have a quarterback.
Carolina getting the cornerback, Farley.
Denver is a team that takes Trey Lance. If I think
No, they're
Dallas,
taking
the
they're taking
Giants.
Patrick Surtain. The Broncos are taking Surtain, cornerback.
Dallas is going to take O-line, in my
Patriots-
opinion.
Patriots at 15 looks like a quarterback spot.
That's
Dallas
Mac
is
Jones.
Dallas is taking Rashawn Slater, O-line.
Yeah, they're taking
I'm
O-line.
just reading a mock draft, bro.
I know. I'm just looking at the
They
teams
got
ahead.
so they have the Niners taking Justin Fields.
You got
Where do the
Dol-
Niners pick?
God, the Dolphins are stacked.
Well,
God,
they have Trey Lance going to the Patriots, bro.
Yeah, bear down loyal, true biscuits and gravy. Unpopular opinion, but a lot of holes. Yeah, there's a lot of holes.
yeah, there are.
There are always holes. I mean, we were talking about at the beginning. You're never done. Like, you're never finished building position groups. You have to keep building in the replacements, you know? Like, you don't just say, like, oh, great, we got this fucking amazing set of tires. We're going to run the Indy 500. No, you need a whole shitload of tires and a pit crew and, you know, back up everything. Like, it's just, like,
The whole point of that exercise for me was to show that there was a lot of offensive need.
Big
A lot of
Patriots
teams are going to take
wing it,
offensive
bro.
need.
I just think there's going to be some crazy guys that you would pass up on by taking a linebacker. People would think you were fucking batshit crazy if you had Roquan and Danny and you spent a 20th pick on a linebacker. That linebacker better be, you know, the second coming of Brian Urlacher if you do that. Who is that in the draft?
I have no idea.
Right, so I'm sorry, Chair, but that's straight out of your ass. Like, I love you, but that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
I'm not locked into draft stuff. But
I know, but could you imagine if they did that? People would flip out.
Yeah, and if they try to sell you a quarterback at 20.
Well, I think there could be quarterbacks.
we
got a lot of time
on the mocks.
If Mac Jones,
offensive lineman for the Bears,
if they don't trade up, if Mac Jones is there at 20, I think they take him. If Trey Lance is there at 20, I think they take him. Like, and I don't think I'd be mad about that.
What they do in free agency if they're trying to acquire. Yeah, I'd be happy with Derek Carr too. To be honest, that was my dude last year.
This is not the NBA
if
you
have an opportunity to get Carr though.
Yes, this is the way that I break it down. Option 1, Deshaun Watson. Option 2, Derek Carr. Option 3, trade up. Dak is not an option. Dak is not an option. I don't even think he's an option.
Yes, he is. He's just much of an option. He's a free agent. Unless they franchise him.
You can't afford him.
Then he is a free agent though.
Technically, yes, so they could franchise him again.
You could have Mac restructure, bro. He might consider that again.
No, you can't get to that money.
Yeah, you can afford Deshaun.
Yes, because Deshaun would have an $11 million cap hit in 2021 if they trade him. He goes up to 36 and 22 and 37 and 23, but that's what people don't realize. There was, we can't afford blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Deshaun is cheap in 2021. Yes.
Who do you think is going to be the defensive coordinator on this team? We're getting out of the draft because the draft talk's just we've got all fucking year to talk about draft.
I know, and we're not experts. No. But it's fun to yell about.
We're experts or not. We talk our shit.
I know. I'm just fucking. Who do I think is going to be the defensive coordinator? Well, Jay Rodgers is the fan favorite so far.
Oh, fuck that.
Okay, speak on it.
Well, our D-line played so great that he's just this like mythical creature. Like the D-line didn't play good either. We needed to rely heavily on the D-line. They had their moments, but you couldn't even get Robert Quinn going. Like, I know, like, technically outside backer, but because we were more in four-man fronts, those guys were playing. I don't know, man. I wasn't that impressed with the magic he's done because he hasn't been shit since Fangio left either. Our D-line got housed against the Raiders, and they never recovered fully from that.
Part of the reason why everybody's hot to trot on Jay Rodgers is because that's the Brandon Staley effect. Because
you couldn't snap Goldman out of that fear that he was going to get blocked low after that Raider game. You're supposed to coach that up, like
right. He has gotten some contributions, I guess, out of some of the bums off the street that they bring in. So like that, he gets credit for that, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I mean, somebody brought up on Twitter. I think it was Sun Devil Bear Fan, aka Pace Goat. We know your fucking real name. No, he's my boy. He said that he remembers Jay Rodgers getting shit about Leonard Floyd and Staley getting shit about Leonard Floyd not developing them. Actually, it was more about Staley, not because Staley was his position coach.
Right.
I think that you do need to bring somebody in from the outside. But again, if they promote Jay Rodgers, I'm not totally against it. I think that's what the Bears will do. There are people that believe that James Betcher is the next guy because he was the linebacker coach for Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles left Arizona.
Mm-hmm. He
took over this DC in Arizona with Arians, and he did have a good defense. He had a top 5 defense at first, but then it slipped to I think it was 7th, and then it slipped to 14th. Then it slipped to 19th. And then he left and was out for, I think he was out for a year. Maybe he he went to the Giants. And they had terrible defenses in 17 and 18. And he's been out of work. So he didn't coach this past year. So it's another one. There's a theory going around, another one of Nagy's out of coach buddies from the Nagy tree, which he keeps trying to.
I got an out of coach. I got an out of coach guy.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought, I put it out on Twitter.
Leslie Frazier.
Nope. Wade Phillips.
I would like it. And the question is can Nagy's ego deal with that? Because Wade Phillips is a guy who's a threat to take over as head coach if shit goes south, like a big threat.
That's why I like Marvin Lewis too as a defensive coordinator. I don't think he'd do it, but
yeah, but again, but he won't. Like he literally won't, and not for Matt Nagy. Any chance Jeff Fisher? That would be kind of awesome.
Well, I mean, that would fit the whole 8-8 mantra.
Yes. I mean, he was a good defensive coordinator. Synergy, collaboration. He's got a great mustache.
Perry Fuel took over some. He took over twice, I think, for coaches that got fired. But he was our defensive back coach at one time, I believe, under Lovey, wasn't he?
Yeah. So Betcher blitzes a lot. Known for lots of exotic
back to Betcher
blitzes. Well, those are the two. Who else have you heard rumored? Who else? Anybody?
Well, if we're going to talk about underachieving defensive line coaches, I'd rather have one that had more success with his unit. The guy from the Niners, Kusek or whatever, their D-line coach. I like him.
But he's probably in line for a promotion now that Saleh is gone.
DeMarco, the linebacker coach, D'Amico Ryan, I heard might be taking over for him.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can see that. The other guy that I heard about was Aaron Glenn of the Saints.
Raheem Morris is in that discussion too.
I'd be down with Raheem Morris. I think it's better to bring in somebody from the outside.
I don't know, man.
I think it is.
I think those defensive linemen already have his respect.
Yeah, but what has that gotten us?
I don't want people comfortable.
That's one of the things.
I agree, Diddy. I don't want comfortable. I want people to be like, yeah, like it's too fuck. Allen Robinson listed the kitchen as something he likes about the Bears because they're all up there fucking drinking smoothies and walking around in fuzzy slippers. Up there in the new fancy Hallis Hall. That's what Allen Robinson loves the most.
And as a fan, kitchen. That's why I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear the words "fire" at some point, and they didn't even say that about freaking Pagano. It was just like he retired off into the sunset. Why couldn't you just say the word "fired"?
They retired him just like Kyle Long retired.
But he ended up being the scapegoat. So you're going to promote from within after you basically said that the leader of the defense didn't work.
Great point. Trubiscuits and Gravy brings up someone floated Sean Desai, our safeties coach, which would make you puke. I'm not even going to lie. When people started talking about Sean Desai, our safeties coach, I was like, what? Who? Honestly, I didn't even know dude's name. I know Wolford or whatever, the guy that isn't as good as Ed Donatel, but I didn't know who the fuck Sean Desai was. I'm glad I didn't know who he was because I would have been using his name a lot. I would have been like, Sean Desai is trash. Honestly, I had no idea who dude was, and now you're telling me. Now you're telling me that he's gonna what has he done?
Can't inspire his unit. Pause.
I'm just saying, it's a good thing I didn't know who Sean Desai was because he would have been getting ripped right along with Eddie Jackson, in my opinion. Because, I'm sorry, but as coaches, you are a reflection of your players, and that's the other thing.
You weren't even ripping on our special team coach that much this year.
Yo, special teams was the best unit we had. Tabor,
your boy, he was your punching bag, bro.
Yo, Tabor, but Cordarrelle Patterson and Cairo Santos fucking saved Tabor's job, his life. He owes everything in the world to Pat O'Donnell, Cordarrelle, and fucking Cairo Santos.
Success can have that effect, and that's I forgot to bring that up too. I was talking to my brother about how our ownership structure is, and he was saying at the Bills, the owner's wife is the president, and she just focuses on freaking ticket sales and shit. You know what I mean?
President of business operations.
They are lined up like us too outside of Chicago. It is like that. But when you win, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. People act like there's some template for organizations to be set up. There's not, and a lot of football organizations have some really fucked up. I mean, look at the Raiders.
The owner's wife is she's a smart lady. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying, there's not like she's not a football person.
The Fords have been a hot mess the way that they've been organized. Like the Spanos family is a fucking disaster. Like we are not special in having a fucked up rich, like dysfunctional family own the team. There's a lot of that. Like everybody wants to hold up the Maras and and the Rooneys. It's like, okay, like they're definitely royalty, but I mean the Patriots, they've won, but their relationship is dysfunctional as fuck.
You talk about the Steelers there for a minute. There's some people that want him out too.
Oh God.
Well, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they really went south on him. Again, Tomlin.
Okay, we'll take him.
Oh, I would take him in a heartbeat. But it's just one of those things where maybe his thing has run its course. Maybe they need a new voice.
Cool.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, but you bring up a good point that our organization, the Bears organization, is not special in being arranged in a fuck. I mean, just look at Jerry Jones. What a mess that is.
Jared Jones
and his son. Like, I mean, we're not special. There's so everybody acts like, well, you must do it this way. Not necessarily. I mean, the fact that the Bears have even gotten to the point where they are as organized as they are is saying something. You know what I mean? Like, because they've been a very sort of
and when Jordan McCaskey says he's a fan, it's not like a regular fan. It's like a trust fund fucking owns the NFL team fan.
Right.
He's a nice guy, man, but he's not on our level with that.
I got a jersey. Oh my God, I got a jersey.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like he's the kind of fan that's like, oh, look, there goes our America's Cup yacht. Like, I mean, it's like, oh, yes,
is that Roquan?
I love Sundays because our football team is playing on Sundays.
Hey, Roquan, I heard you like boating. Would you like to come on my 75
Well, a couple crazy things he said on the radio. One was that he hadn't talked to Mitch since the summer, and he hadn't been in Hallis Hall in like at least a month.
I don't think
they are in a.
You saw his office, right? Like it doesn't look like he has like a permanent office there. It looked like a storage unit.
Why would he?
They just propped up the 100 yearbook behind him in a statue. They're like, let me grab the statue out of the hallway of Hallis.
But honestly, like, why would he have a permanent office? What does he do? Ted's running that whole shit. Like, and I think they do let Ryan run. I mean, that's what George said. He's our football guy. So what does it matter if there's not one more person to?
George is out just taking pictures and signing autographs.
He doesn't get why it doesn't matter that there's not one more person who actually knows about football.
Ask Ryan Pace. Every decision he makes is best for the Bears.
I wouldn't have a problem. You keep Ted at what he's doing, but you bring in a football guy. They brought in Childress for freaking Nagy to babysit him. Remember that? Remember when they brought Childress in to babysit? So bring somebody in for Ryan to babysit in between him and Ted.
It's just, I mean, that's a great comment by Trubisky and Gravy. George is the type of fan who tucks his jersey into his jeans. Absolutely. Like George, and the jeans are ironed, by the way. Like they're fucking creased. Like George is putting on loafers, tucking his jersey in.
George is like a nice guy version of Shooter McGavin.
Wearing some ascots and shit. Yeah, he's like Ned Flanders. I mean, I've always called him Ned Flanders. Nice guy. Like he's super gracious.
Oh, he's a nice guy. He's
fucking nice guy. Not a bad bone in his body. Like I think legitimately he wants to win, but he doesn't know what it's like to have to win or else. Like
he's like Will Ferrell's character in Wedding Crashers, but the preppy version. Mother, is the meatloaf ready?
Yeah, like.
I know
the McCaskey
was in the shop,
and I know
my BMW.
Right, exactly. Like,
you ever watch Arrested Development? That son that lives with the mom. He's kind of weird, has the glasses. You never seen that show? That's like George. He's still living with mom. Like hasn't like fully developed yet as an adult. Yeah, but he owns the NFL team.
He clearly has no balls. He clearly told everybody that his balls are kept in a jar on Ted's desk. It's like Ted outranks him, Ted outweighs him, Ted outclasses him. Like Ted's running that shit. George is like, yes, Ted, whatever you need. They just got up there and ball washed Ted for getting them through the pandemic.
He's like, I answer to the board of mommy and brother and sister.
Yeah, like and fucking 93-year-old this dude and like Pat Ryan, like the former chairman of it is the crustiest fucking crypt keeper shit going on that board of directors. Like everybody's just like, oh, football. Like they don't fucking know what's happening. Like they're just drinking like glasses of Xanax. Like they don't know what's fucking happening. And these dudes, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, are some salesmen, and they are just selling them a.
I'm telling you, like you said, he helped develop Hallisall, so he could develop buildings, and Nagy could sell them.
And we've been saying this shit. We've told you that they love Pace, and that Pace is not going anywhere. People really were thinking they were going to fire Pace. There was no fucking shot. They were firing Pace.
I didn't think he was going to get fired.
They don't even think he completely got the quarterback. Ted said mostly wrong.
It felt like an episode of Sesame Street, though, with the word collaborate, too. Like it was like they went to this little powwow, this little like fucking team building exercise, and they came out with a word of the day.
Yeah, it was like a low-rent TED Talk. Like, I mean, it was like Kirkland brand TED Talk. Fucking,
That collaborate video with the dings after it was money.
Yeah, that was, I mean, and it was so easy. Like, and Ryan even said, we're going to say this word a lot. You're even aware of how redundant and corny you sound? And Ryan's interviewing himself. Did we do this right? No.
He expected all to be meatheads and say, collaborate. We learned the word, collaborate.
Bro, like, I don't know what they thought.
That's how they talk to us. Like, let's teach the fans a word today. Today's word, boys and girls, is collaborate. They talked down to us like they were adults and we were children that didn't know what the fuck we were listening to.
As if the value of the collaboration is not somehow related to the product. Like, that is the most participation trophy kindergarten shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's like, we're so happy that you work together. Like, the team sucks. We didn't win anything, but you guys all sat in a circle and held hands during it.
And if you notice, like, he started off like, oh, we just want to thank this person and COVID, right? He always comes out with the worst case scenario. He did it on Waddle and Sylvie today. It was nice and genuine, but he's like, Sylvie, I just wanted to tell you before the interview started, just want to tell you we support you. And like,
oh yeah,
that's what he did with the COVID
pull the heartstrings with the
Sylvie
strong shit.
Sylvie went in anyway.
Sylvie still went in after him. Good for him.
He did.
Yeah, because Sylvie's been hurt by this team. He knows the pain, and it's like, yeah, Sylvie's strong.
They did a good job interviewing him too. They didn't get the answers once again.
No, but George was out of pocket with that Waddle comment. Like, I'm sorry, like he said, Waddle started off his broadcast career, and he struggled. It's like, what, George? You don't know a fucking thing about that. You don't know what it's like to get cut like Tom Waddle and have to fight your way from the ninth. Like, Tom is so gracious and so classy and so respectful, but deep down he had to be like, fuck you, bro. Like, you don't know the struggle, like, of having to fight to be on a bad team and drafted in the low rounds and even know what that's like.
Yeah, George, it was like I made you, Waddle, almost like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, and basically this is what he's saying is, I'm a billionaire, and so I can make people. And so I have chosen to make Matt and Nagy. And this is why I'm saying these motherfuckers are Pace and Nagy. They are made men right now. They have earned protection. And it's just, I'm sorry, but it was bullshit for him to say that about fucking Waddle. Like,
yeah.
It's hard to whack a made man. Goodfellas
yes.
taught me that.
But that's, again, it's tone deaf. The fan, I can't think of a fan that doesn't love Waddle and what he's doing for us and the way he brings his coverage.
This is
a tone deaf motherfucker. Like, he doesn't,
because he's completely out of touch. He spends too much time with his mother.
Like if he was a fan, he would realize that the Waddle's our dude. Like that's one of our guys we listen to nationally.
And why is he our dude? Because he's a fucking salt of the earth, dirt under his fingernails, came up from, fought his way on the team, took hits like crazy.
And he's great on the radio.
And he's that too. But that's why that we love him, is because of that, blue collar thing, that he had. And for George, I'm sorry, I know Waddle doesn't probably even care, but for George to go after that, it's not like a dig where it's like Waddle should be like burned, but it just shows George's personality. Like George is so out of touch. Like George doesn't even understand why Waddle is successful. He thinks it's because some rich guy gave him a shot. That's what he really thinks on some level, is that it's because some rich guy had faith in him. No, it's because Waddle grinded.
Yes, but on some levels, you got to have somebody to give you a push.
Always you do. But I just think it was.
You don't broadcast that. I think it's Bush League.
Right. I just think it was weird to bring up. Like I don't it was just strange. Like I think he felt somehow betrayed, because I know he listens to shit, and I'm sure he felt kind of betrayed that Waddle lately has just, he's had to be critical, and I think
some guys can suck on TV, man. Radio's a whole different ballgame. Like to keep people entertained with just talking, and he's done that for years. That's a different, that's a harder thing to break into. Some of these TV guys can go and suck, and you never hear from them again. To make it on the radio for this many years and keep people entertained, that's not just a player. That's a talented dude.
Right. Like he's a better broadcaster than he ever was a player. By far.
Yeah.
And he was a pretty good player, especially where he was
all
drafted.
Sports. He's not just a football guy, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's it. But I'm just saying, like, it was like, really, dude, like you're not Waddle's boy to like bust his chops like that. So I don't know where that came from. Like, it's like, no, like, no, like you don't get you didn't need to do that to make the analogy. It's like, we understand you. Like, stop talking down to us.
There's something else that happened this week on Twitter. Akeem Hicks.
Yeah. Dude is just emotional.
I was a little disappointed. I was disappointed in him, man.
Yep.
And I was equally disappointed that the Windy City Productions didn't stand by their words. It's like, dude, if that's how you felt, it's okay to feel disappointed as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And had he brought it to me, I don't know if I would have said the same thing, but I definitely would not have backed off the statement that he was disappointed in their play. And he quote tweets him and drags him all over.
Yeah, it wasn't
bullshit, dude.
And
I like Akeem as a player. I think he's a great player.
These players that are on Twitter, though, bro. I mean, they're seeing shit.
That's half the fucking problem with this team. They're too worried about their social media presence. Get your ass out there.
It's off season, bro. They can. He dives back into it.
Here's the thing: is that Akeem popped off of something that wasn't even anything. Like literally, Windy City Productions said Akeem Hicks for next defensive coordinator, and Akeem pulled up some old ass receipt.
Oh, I'm not saying his actions were right. What I'm telling Jared is
Akeem saved it like dude. He was on some petty shit. It was like, oh yeah. You think I'm all that, huh? Well, you didn't think I was all that then. Fuck out of here, bro. Like, you think I'm sorry. Like, that was petty as hell. Like,
that speaks to the culture.
Right.
That's the culture.
Right. Well, and the culture, you're right, Jer, is all about Twitter crackbacks right now.
I got something to say on that, though, bro. That's like your job saying you post some fucked up shit on fucking Twitter, and your job saying you're not about the culture. These guys should be able to do what they need to do in the offseason on Twitter.
But it's not really. I mean,
you got to come on, man. Like if our employers saw half the shit we put on Twitter,
it'd be different if he came after him. That dude was being kind.
You know what?
Yes, this is after he pulled the shit on Waddle.
Yep.
Who gives a shit? Then go back at him.
I'm just saying. I think Akeem has been
You're
very.
gonna start kissing the ring right off the rip. If you want to make a criticism and stand by your criticism and look legit, stick by it, bro.
I agree.
Out,
but he didn't criticize him at that point.
But it doesn't matter. You got a player to hop out and keep that going. That's good promotion. Like keep that debate going. If you feel strong, you don't have to be a dick to him.
But that guy's a hype man. Like he's a hype man. He's not here for the smoke with these players.
Then don't put the smoke out there, bro.
He didn't put any smoke out.
He didn't tag anybody. He just said they've been disappointing. I love them, but they've been disappointing. That's literally what he said. And Akeem Hicks dragged it out like remember when you stabbed me in the face, bro?
We would have fired back.
Absolutely, we would have.
But you also understand that what comes with Akeem Hicks doing that. It's 700 fucking lemmings.
Right.
Sorry, pardon the term. But it's 700, 800 people that just like, you're not
even
a real
better,
fan.
Jared. Let 800 people watch the discussion. That's great.
Right, but that's not how it went down. And the point is that Akeem has been emotional and kind of, off his shit this year. Not to say that he hasn't given effort and not given everything he has.
He hasn't.
Absolutely.
But he's also been on some penalty bullshit
and disappears some games, forearm people in the helmet.
Yes. So I'm saying is he's been emotional and jumpy and undisciplined. And if that guy is that
and banged up, to give him a little.
Okay, they're all banged up. I mean, they made a big point of reminding us that Khalil Mack is hurt again. Great.
Yeah, you like that?
So glad that we wasted him. And
what about what was Robert Quinn's excuse?
And yeah, where's that? They're trying to hide his injury, but they want to make sure we know Khalil was hurt. What? And they threw Mitch under the bus big time. This dude just saved your fucking jobs. Mitch Trubisky saved their fucking jobs. Straight up.
To an extent.
And they just bus rode him.
It's crazy, man.
If he's not out of here, he's I'm sorry, but the fact that he's out of here is because look at the list of free agent quarterbacks. Yeah. He's high up on that list. Now, there's not that many teams, I think, who are in the market for a free agent quarterback, so he's got that going against him. But he stacks up pretty well against the free agents that are out there.
I'll get a chance somewhere.
So, he's got, he's going to have an opportunity. And I hope he takes it. And honestly, I'm at the point where I hope he goes out and he kills it. Because I think, number one, as much as I've clowned him and whatever, I think he does fucking try. I think he does care. And I think, it'd be cool to see him succeed. Now, it'd be cooler to see him succeed in the Bears uniform, but the narrative, he's got to escape the narrative. He has to escape the Watson and Mahomes narrative, and he'll never escape that here. Never. Even if he wins, I don't think he'd escape.
All right. Sorry, I had to.
All right.
I had to drain the lizard right quick. But your comment about Mitch saving their jobs, I disagree, man. Because what they ended up doing is going on a 3-game winning streak against shit teams. They basically catered that offense to Mitch, and it was very simple.
If they didn't go on that losing streak, if they finished the year and lost out, if they went 5-11, they would all have been fired.
He played well, but they were able to run that offense against shit teams. But the last 2 games, he didn't play that great at all. It could be looked at both ways. The coaches adjusted.
But that was just a cold bucket of water.
But to say that arrogance saved their job, negligence saved their job. Ownership's the one that made the decision to keep these guys here. And if they're willing to bury Mitch to do that, that's proven to you that it wasn't in their eyes. I'm not saying in reality, but in the ownership's eyes, it wasn't Mitch. It was the culture. It was these guys
maybe you're right.
Together. They don't look at shit like that. I understand what you're saying. Mitch did play well in those 3 games, but It's just more negligence and
Well, I think when it comes down to is that they are going to give the credit for those games mostly to Nagy and the coaching
right.
staff.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the negligence on Ted and
Right.
George's part. That's why they're still here.
I understand that, but I'm saying that Ted and George are not chalking that up to Mitch. They're chalking it up to Nagy, and that's why Nagy will remain. If they really believe that Mitch ever succeeded in spite of Nagy, if it got to that point, it might be a different story, but I don't think they believe that. I think they believe that because you have to see the perception of Mitch around the league. I mean, they had that quote from Rich Eisen or Cam Jordan, and Rich Eisen asks, now the Bears have been playing pretty well. What do you have to prepare for about Mitch Trubisky? Like, is he a dangerous quarterback in your mind? And Cam Jordan was like, can I plead the fifth? Like, because that dude doesn't scare anyone.
I don't want to talk smack about my union brother.
There is nothing that dude does, that Mitch Trubisky does, that scares opposing defenses. Nothing. There's nothing that they might and dude doesn't really even run anymore. So there was a point.
That throw to Wims was a dime for Mitch, like a dime. That might have been one of the better throws I've seen him make in his career.
Odell Beckham made that same throw against us on the Giants. Remember that? They ran that play against us.
I was
but
there.
But they let Odell throw it, and Odell
had a game.
Odell threw just as good of a ball. I'm just saying, like, that doesn't validate Mitch in any way.
I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Jared.
We're gonna pick these games for this week.
Let's pick.
Kansas City hosting your Cleveland Browns.
Chiefs.
Oh, welcome to Pony Pick'em.
It's a reality check time for the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Oh, 1 second here.
What?
I'm writing them down, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're the secretary.
We're collaborating.
Don't call me a male secretary, bro. Cause I'll take the show a whole nother direction. You don't want to go down right now this late at night.
Heard.
Male secretaries are the jobs you get when you get locked up a little bit. So
anyway.
Man, I'm getting a concussion from all this.
Lumped up, yeah.
All right, next game.
Wait, so I didn't pick my team yet.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Chiefs, you did.
Against the Browns, you said?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. They got the little magic going on there.
Magic Rona.
No, I'm joking.
Kansas City big.
We'll pick the Saints and the Buccaneers next. The battle, it's the geriatric bowl. Bring your own hip.
I think Tampa.
I think Tampa as well, but I'm going to pick the Saints because
I'm so far ahead of you,
Yeah, exactly, because you got like 1 million points and you
risking it all out here. Risking it all.
Right.
That's fine.
Buffalo and Baltimore. I think we're all.
I want the Bills to win.
I'm picking Buffalo.
I don't know if they're going to win.
It's a rough
The Colts were. I mean, they hung around.
They had a chance to win.
Yeah,
they had a realistic chance to win.
And Baltimore is playing pretty damn well.
I agree.
I can't. I'm going to take the Ravens.
I'll take the Bills to hold down the fort. And finally, the hated, fuck them, and all they stand for, Packers.
Rams
versus the Rams. And I'm taking
the Rams. Fuck them.
I'm taking the Rams as well. Fuck the Packers. That's why.
And Jared Goff gets the cold weather monkey off his back. He's going to be playing with gloves. Why not? I think they can beat him. If Aaron Donald's healthy, which I think he'll get a cortisone shot. He'll get his ribs shot up. He'll be fine.
There you go.
And
Oh, you had to bring that up.
Tyrod Taylor, quarterback shot in the ribs.
Yeah, but I think they can win. Jalen Ramsey is going to shut Devontae Adams down. So who else is going to beat them?
Yeah, a DB that'll travel.
I know. I work with a Packer fan, and he was a little nervous. He was like hoping Darnold was hurt.
Aaron Donald.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Of course they are. This
of course
is
they
the
are.
this
That's
is
the
the
best defensive
I just
player in
said
the league.
Darnold. Wow, this is good weed.
That game's I mean, Darnold is a game wrecker.
See what I did
Like
there?
a real deal game wrecker. Like Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White. That game will be decided by Devontae versus Ramsey. Yeah, Kyle in the chat. Yes. And I think Ramsey wins.
Yeah, that's a shutdown.
How could you argue? I mean, dude is backing it up right now. I mean,
like juvenile?
Yes, he's like Devontae's gonna be a real fine woman.
Oh, who did you play with back then?
Yeah, yeah. Jalen got a grill in, like like yeah. He's gonna be snatching. He's gonna be on some fucking like Akeem Talib shit, snatching Devontae's chain. I hate to see it. Don't think the Rams pull it off. That's just loser Bears talk. Trubiscuits and gravy. I think the Rams got him because now remember.
Honestly, though, I'd like to see that Green Bay Packer chain ripped off Jones. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, Sean McVay is the father to Matt LaFleur's style.
Oh,
just saying. I think he knows. Now the question is does it matter? Because
like
Aaron
Shanahan
Rodgers,
did to him last year, like, oh, you're with Daddy now.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that kind of shit. They know LaFleur's shit.
Like Yoda versus Luke.
I think even though the Bears couldn't make it matter, I think Bakhtiari being out against the Rams will matter because the Rams actually have a good coach. Like what did Kyle say? Kyle said, "My brother's a Packers fan. I can't keep seeing him wear a cheese head when they play Rams by 1,000." Yes, let's go Rams. Fuck it.
Oh, the Rams coach is a boss, bro.
Right, and Brandon Staley.
And he's got the whole roster.
And the Rams have Aaron Rodgers' fucking kryptonite. Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd is about to have a fucking day, boys.
McVay's girl, bro.
Here for it. I have trashed Leonard Floyd for like 4 solid years, but I am so here for him having a big day and sacking Aaron Rodgers 3 times in a Rams uniform. Woo! I'm ready for that.
I would like to do a breakdown on McVay's girl, like a tape breakdown. Like if I had footage.
You'd like to break it down like a shotgun, bro.
Like a porn combine.
Yeah.
Look at that technique. Look at that ball placement.
3-cone. Solid 3-cone.
Ball placement.
Yeah, so that's the pick'em. That's how we do the pick'em.
Yo,
that's it. See, I'm in. Rams by 30. Leonard freaking Floyd. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
I'll take
I'm here for that shit.
Yes.
What else?
Fuck the team management. That's pretty much it.
It's just so disheartening, but
it's like you said earlier, it's such a fucking, the roller coaster's been so high and low, and it's the perfect sum up of this team.
Yeah, it's the signature moment of this year, that press conference.
Yeah, it'll be on their fucking 2021 highlight reel.
Yep. And last week, just to throw this
Yeah,
out
shout out to Trubisky's brother that came through with that sweaty Teddy fucking portrait. Like, that's rough style. Hey, by the way, go on T Public and get our Ted Phillips shirt. Got the shirt that says Chicago football, no quarterback, no winning, everything else.
Should we put one out that says the collaboration?
Hey, we got a TikTok.
Oh yeah, we got TikTok. Check that out.
What the hell are we gonna do with like one person having access to a TikTok account?
You all have access to it. I gave you the damn passwords.
Whatever. TikTok's fun. I like looking on TikTok. I don't know how much I'm gonna put out on TikTok, but
I feel like
I did that. I did a little friends video. I think people thought that was kind of funny.
Whatever. Oh, it was cool as hell. But like, I've never been on.
I mean, whatever. I don't really care. That shit takes me like 2 seconds, and especially with TikTok, it's like easy.
I'm not one of those like. I'm not one of those like. Hey, stuff. Like
that shirt is very real.
Yeah,
the shirt is very real.
Yeah, that's real.
Look us up on Facebook.
Come on, it's our pinned. It's our pinned fucking tweet. You don't know about the shirt.
I might be collaborating with my brother for some shirts for us this off season.
I think the Friends shirt might be something too with those guys.
Yeah, no copyright issues there. Yeah, absolutely, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't. Nobody cares. Did he really not see the shirt?
He says sold. It's quite real, my friends. It's coming at you.
Yeah, that shirt's money. Chicago football, everything but the quarterback and winning. We got everything else. Just not the quarterback.
Beautiful.
I don't even know if you can see it.
Yeah, the image shows. It's beautiful. Look us up on Facebook. Hit us on Twitter.
We're going to be throwing that out there too.
Yeah.
Shade. Oh yeah. Is there any extra shade you'd like to throw?
Yeah.
The leadership that Ted Phillips has displayed.
I thought you wanted me to do a rant.
Another example of why our family has so much faith in him as the Bears president and CEO.
Don't make me
hurt myself today. I'm particularly grateful for Ted's steady hand. See if I still feel. When the team faced adversity, I focused on the pain during this past season. The only thing.
I can't.
And as he and I went through the
painful, so painful.
End of season evaluation process.
Oh, it's so painful.
It's real, man.
Why do they hurt us so bad? What did we do to deserve this? We didn't do anything to deserve this. We just fucking paid for their shit.
Right.
Yo, if this was like an investor meeting, like, and I had like stock in this company, I would have sold that shit.
Yes, absolutely. You would be like, "Oh no, I'm out." Like, we are good. I will go buy
all we have at stake instead of cash is basically our heart and soul in this fucking team. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying is that, like,
you're not stomping on that, bro.
You have to understand that, like people of our generation are running out. Like Jack Silverstein was on the radio today. Everybody knows who Jack is.
Mitch MVP. Like, think about that.
Yeah, right. And that was like, it's crazy. But if you're a 25-year-old Bears fan, what do you have to hold on to?
2018. That's it.
You would have 2006. You would have 2006. So they went to the Super Bowl when you were 10. Okay, that's cool. You have Devin Hester. You have a couple bits and pieces here. You have the Jay Cutler, but like, you don't even have Walter. You don't even have.
I see some of these young fans bring up shit like from when they were 5. I'm like, come on, man. Like, You don't remember that shit.
But that's the problem, is that the Bears organization trades in history, right? So all they're concerned about is honoring that history, like and selling it to us again, right? That's their goal.
Loud and proud, he had his 100-year book open in the back of his filing cabinet.
Right. And one of the most important things, and we've kind of rehashed it, but one of the most important things Riddick said today was that you have to be careful to manage expectations. The Bears are atrocious at managing expectations. And we as fans are horrible at not getting caught up over the littlest fucking thing. Like, we were so ready to believe that we were a kicker away, and we went to that Bears 100 and we all screamed Super Bears Super Bowl, and we got all fucking hype, and every 85 Bear came out of the woodwork.
Mahomes and Watson don't have an MVP. I'm just saying.
That's true. But you have to manage expectations, but that's what happens when you have a roller coaster. And it was Weeder who said the other day that the thing about a roller coaster is that it starts and stops at the same place. The roller coaster goes nowhere.
No.
When you get on a roller coaster, you go on a wild ride, but you get back exactly where you started from.
8-8.
Right. Right.
I really have to look into that. I'm sure some are designed where you don't, but
no, they're not. Good theory, but no. Yeah, that's it. Delicious and gravy. It's more than Mitch, in my opinion. This has been a 30-year shit show. Absolutely. These are just symptoms of a greater disease. This is not like...
It doesn't matter how old you are. We've all dealt with it.
Right.
Which came out...
But we are so much closer to being the Lions than we are to being the Packers. So much closer. Like we're much closer to being homeless, and this is something that he said. We're much closer to being homeless than being a billionaire. That's what Jack said.
I wonder what our record was prior to 1999 versus the Packers. I know we led that.
Yeah, we had a minute. They had a streak. They had a streak in the 90s where they beat the Packers 5 times. Waddle's 5 times in a row. And I guess that was like the Don Majkowski
years
era.
So
versus Harbaugh.
I grew up a Red Sox fan, which really is just as similar as being a Cubs fan. You had a team that it was like took so long to get back to the promised land, and like there were so many struggles before we got there. Like I struggled so bad that once we won, like baseball never has been my favorite sport to watch, but it's not like I don't follow it like I used to before we won. Because it was just such a mountaintop, right? You couldn't get past that. But like the struggle before that, like this press conference, as a sports fan, made me feel worse than all my struggle as being a Red Sox fan before we won.
Right.
And that was a long drought of bullshit that happened.
Because like this press conference, if this press conference was a game, like it would have been like we started down 72-0. Like, that's how they came out. They came out and were just like, we already lost, and let's just...
It's about like the Steelers started.
Well, emotionally, the Bears are what I'm most into anyway, but like, so that makes it hurt that much worse. But man, this was a big L. We like, I think Hogue said it. We went...
Yeah, they lost another game.
Yeah. It was 8-10.
They just had their worst loss of the season.
We went 8-10. That was a big L.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shame, man, because like they could have even if they stayed the course, the presentation, it was all in the presentation, man.
Well, and that's the thing is that like and this is the thing that I think will always keep people looking at the Bears' jobs as being attractive is because they know that there's still this potential to be a legend. And nobody, if you come in as a general manager or a coach or whatever, a quarterback, and you win on this team and in this town, you will be deified. You will be absolutely worshipped. And nobody will.
Was that Max Kellerman that put something about that?
Yes. And he said Deshaun Watson, yes, he will be held up in this legendary status. So there is always that. And the other thing about it is that never will anybody believe that anybody but you was responsible for your success? Nobody will ever go, oh, but it was George and Ted. Nobody would believe that shit. So you can come in and literally be the hero and raise the founding franchise out of the muck and the mire and the ashes. And that's still attractive to people, that idea. I mean, it's still an iconic franchise, and it will be basically forever. But the only thing that the McCaskies have been able to do in their time is manage the historical persona of the Bears. And they don't have the balls or the knowledge or the temerity or anything to push out and make this team a winner right now.
Correct.
Bear down loyal. Yeah, I am all over the map of my teams because like Connecticut's in between like either New York or Boston. And most fans around here just go one way or the other, so we don't really have like our own pro teams. And like as a kid, I was a big fan of Olajuwon, always a Houston Rocket fan. Then Walter Payton, man,
Yeah.
and then
That's how it is. I mean,
my hometown team's the Red Sox.
Oh man,
this is modern times. I mean, like, and that's the thing is that Bears.
Well, it wasn't. It was not so much in the '80s though. Like,
right. No, you're right. But you asked before, why do they do Lyrical Lemonade?
that was
Why?
stupid.
No, but to kids, it's not. To younger people, they fuck with that whole thing.
And
They're
Barstool
into
fucked
it.
it up and gave a loser of the game the MVP for the kids.
Well, whatever. But that was one of the highest rated playoff games in forever.
It was on Nickelodeon. That helps.
Yes, but whatever, that worked, and the Bears got involved in that.
Yep.
Like, and it's because they're seen as a goody two shoes, big fan base, like all that shit.
Fuck that.
Like, so the marketing side of things for the Bears is hard at work and is successful. The football side is it's like that picture with the dragons, and there's that one dragon that's like, it's like image. Logos, marketing, football, like it's just like
That's the thing. And like, I really think I know. I'm not trying to start a freaking hashtag or anything, but like, I don't buy the shit.
Right.
Hit them where it hurts, because really, like that's what
Good
they
luck,
treated it
though.
like. They treated this like they own a clothing line. They didn't treat
That
this
shit-
like.
But
really
that
care.
shit will work until your next birthday or like Christmas or
No,
like
I'm good,
whatever.
bro. I'm fine. I got plenty of shit. I got hats.
You won't,
jerseys. I'm
but
good.
your mom is gonna buy you something or whoever. Like
My mom gets me like Best Buy cards, bro. We're beyond that.
All right. Well, I'm just saying I don't think they're too worried about it. Like, I don't think anybody has the stomach for any real boycotts of this team, unless
You don't want your mom buying you Bears gear. You end up with like the shit that like
No,
people pick up at flea markets and shit.
Agreed. Like somebody bought me a Bears shirt that I have that says 2018 playoffs. It just says it's like the official playoffs shirt. I was like, all right.
Like the shit that the shit that shows up at Marshall's like 2 years too late.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That is the nice part, and I've said this before, is that when the Bears are kind of bad, the shit at Marshall's in town is way better.
You remember when we got all pissed off when they said Trubisky's jerseys would be at Filing's basement?
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Lombardi fucking.
You remember how hot we got back then?
We were hot.
We're like, I don't even know if those shits would sell at Filing's basement. Like,
We were fired up.
it's just funny.
It was the whole thing.
Oh, when they
All
called
right, well,
Blake Bortles, bro, we
We're
were ready
working
to
on 2 hours.
fucking,
yeah, and we will be. And that's what I'm saying is that if we draft a guy at 20, we will rally and gather around him eventually too. Like, we will defend his ass because that's just what we do. Like,
not if it's not the guy. If I don't like him, I won't.
all I know is if the Bears suck, thank God for Red Zone. Put the
Yeah.
Bears on screen too.
I'm actually hoping the package moves to like Amazon or Apple or something where it's going to be a stream deal because like DirecTV is losing the contract. So I will cancel DirecTV in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I've never had DirecTV, so I don't know.
I have to here, man.
Right. Yeah. Well. Anyway. That's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Shout out to Bears UK for the shout out on Twitter. That was cool.
Yeah, man.
They said they're listening. Shout out to everybody that jumps in the chat with us. Kyle.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. The more the merrier. Thursdays during the season, it's just Thursday nights. So during the season, it's Thursdays and Sundays. Off
And
season,
we're just gonna be kicking shit around
Thursdays. Yeah, and whatever. We're not gonna rehash this shit every week. Like you know, I mean, we might do it a little bit, but we're not gonna. You know, we're gonna talk about some other shit. Might talk about some bourbon, or might talk about some basketball. We might talk about some. I don't know, fucking.
I told you I'm gonna put together a porn combine and we're gonna do some
porn
breakdown
combine,
live film reviews on that shit.
Yeah,
It's gonna pop off, man. Like the tailgate show after dark.
Right. Could be good. We'll look into it. Yeah, so appreciate it. Thanks for listening. And it's just another episode of The Tailgate Show.
Depressing.
Depressing.
The champions of culture.
We didn't even throw shade, but we did.
Yeah, what are you talking about? The whole episode was throwing
The show
shade.
was throwing shade.
Yeah, it was just one big shade. It was like shade.